Have you ever bought something you didn't even need, and a few days later, you kind of wished you hadn't? Maybe it's not just about the money. I've noticed that when this happens, it can leave us feeling a little empty inside too. Almost like something quieter than a bank balance took a hit. There's a verse in the Bible that a lot of people skip right over. And I think it might explain why so many of us struggle to control the urge to shop. Before we get into it, if you're new here, consider subscribing. This channel is all about looking at everyday life, including our money, through the lens of Bible wisdom. So let's dig in. Here's something I've been thinking about. Impulse buying usually doesn't start in our wallet. It starts somewhere else. It starts in the heart. A lot of us shop when we're feeling anxious, or stressed, or a little lonely. Sometimes we're chasing a reward after a hard day. Sometimes we're just trying to fill a gap that shopping was never really meant to fill. Advertising promises us happiness in a box. But what it actually delivers is a quick little spark that fades fast. Think about it. The impulse buy at checkout. The sale that feels too good to pass up. Scrolling social media and suddenly comparing our life to everyone else's highlight reel. Wanting to look a certain way in front of others. All of that can lead to guilt. To debt that piles up quietly. To that constant worry in the back of your mind. That feeling like no matter how much you make, there's never quite enough. Here's the interesting part. This isn't a new problem. This is something the Bible was already talking about, long before credit cards even existed. And the verse is a lot deeper than it might sound at first. It's found in Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 20. It goes something like this. In the house of the wise are stores of precious treasure, but a foolish person swallows up everything they have. Let's slow down and look at this piece by piece, because I think there's a lot packed into just one sentence. The wise person, as this verse describes them, tends to think ahead. They take care of what they have. They avoid waste where they can. And in a way, they treat their money like something they're simply looking after, not something that only belongs to them. The foolish person, on the other hand, tends to live only in the moment. They buy whatever catches their eye. They spend without really stopping to think it through. And because of that, it's hard for them to ever feel steady or secure. Now, I don't think this verse is only about money. I think it's also pointing at something bigger. Things like wisdom, self-control, a kind of steadiness that grows over time. So how might we actually use this in real life? Here's a perspective worth considering. Before making a purchase, you could ask yourself a few simple questions. Do I really need this? Am I buying this because I need it, or because of how I'm feeling right now? Does this purchase line up with the kind of person I want to be? Am I taking good care of what's already been given to me? Small choices add up. That's something I've come to believe. One skipped purchase here, one thoughtful pause there, and over time, your whole financial picture can start to look different. If any of this is landing with you, drop a comment below. You could write something like, I choose wisdom, if you're hoping for a shift in how you handle money going forward. And feel free to share a time an impulse buy didn't turn out the way you hoped. I bet you're not the only one. Now here's something worth sitting with. I don't think the real issue has ever been the object itself. The shoes. The gadget. The bag. I think the real issue is what's happening inside us. Someone can get a raise and still feel broke. Someone can pay off one debt and slide right into another. Why does that happen? Because the pattern underneath hasn't changed. The habit is still running the show. This is where the Bible's teaching connects, at least from my perspective. When something shifts on the inside, the choices on the outside tend to follow naturally. It's not really about willpower alone. It's about what's shaping our decisions in the first place. Let me share a few examples that might sound familiar. Someone buys new clothes almost every week. Then one day they open their closet and realize they keep reaching for the same handful of outfits anyway. Someone buys a new gadget hoping it'll bring a little happiness. A few days later, they're already eyeing the next thing. A big sale looks like a great deal in the moment. But spending money on something you didn't plan to buy was never really saving anything at all. If this video is giving you something to think about, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this message reach other people who might be wrestling with the same money struggles. Here's a bigger idea to think about too. What if the goal isn't to have more stuff, but to grow into someone who's careful, generous, and content with what they already have? From this perspective, real wealth doesn't start with a bigger paycheck. It starts in the mind, long before it ever reaches a wallet. Maybe true richness isn't about buying more. Maybe it's about needing less, because there's a deeper kind of contentment already sitting inside. So let's go back to that verse one more time. It seems to lay out two simple paths. One where we plan and take care and build something steady over time. And one where we grab whatever we want in the moment, without much thought for tomorrow. Every little purchase, in its own small way, might be showing us which path we're actually walking. Real change in how we handle money doesn't usually happen all at once. From what I've seen, it tends to happen through small, everyday choices, made one at a time. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more videos looking at everyday life through Bible wisdom. Leave a comment telling us which money habit you'd most like to change. And if you know someone who struggles with impulse spending, consider sending this their way. Sometimes one simple idea is all it takes to start looking at money a little differently.